We have already seen comments in our previous sessions before. Comments are code lines that's meant for human readers only. They are used so that the readers can understand the code better. Java compiler will simply ignore those comments. There are three styles of comment. The first one that we have already seen is called single line comment. Anything after the double slash on the line will be ignored by the compiler. The second style is called block comment. Everything begins with /* and ends with the first */ will be ignored by the compiler. This comment type cannot be nested though. And the third type is Java doc comment. This is a special version of the previous block comment that allows comments to be documented by the Java doc utility program. Everything beginning with the /* and ending with the first */ will be ignored by the compiler. This comment type cannot be nested either. Now let's look at the example. So here we have a Java file which starts with a doc comment, Java doc comment, another Java doc comment, and some single line comments. We can also put some block comment here. As you can see, I will just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G. These are the things that will supposedly help the user to understand. So in real life, you won't put some random characters like me did. Instead, you will put like this code block. Oops. This code block is used to define some useful variables. Apparently, this code block and the lines here will not be parsed by Java compiler, but it helps the reader understand what this block is about and what each line is about. And this is the purpose of comment. A special type of comment is the Java doc comment. Java doc comment comes right before each class and each method. So as you create each class and the method, you will create these comments all together. Whenever you are done with the development, you can use a special utility called the Java doc to generate documentation for Java. Java doc comments can be built into HTML documentation. To create the documentation, you will run the Java doc utility with the source file as the argument. The Java doc program will then create an index.html and several other documentation files in the same directory and input. And this is an example, like what you're supposed to see by running a comment, by running Java doc against comments 3. You should see all classes you run against, because we only choose comments 3, so there's only 1, as well as the class inheritance link, the comment definition, and then here you see this class creates a program that calculates company payroll. This is exactly the same sentence you placed here in the Java doc HTML. Whatever the Java doc comment, whatever you put here will show up in HTML. Similarly, whatever you put here right in front of the method will show up in the HTML document for that method. So you look here, the main method has this description that comes within the Java doc comment. In order to do this, in order to create this Java.html, you go to project and generate Java doc. Now, one thing to note is JavaDoc is a separate utility from Eclipse. If you want to run this JavaDoc generation yourself, you need to download it with JDK, Java Development Kit. You need to download the JDK from Oracle website, Java Development Kit, which will include the javadoc.exe. Once you download, you can configure to use this version of JDK or JavaDoc and specify which class you want to run your JavaDoc against. Here I'm choosing comment 3, and now I click finish. And you can see there's a warning, but this warning will not stopping us from generating the doc, which is right here. So I double click on index, and this is exactly what you just see. In the comments class, we have this JavaDoc comment, we have this main method, as well as the description for the main method. So this is the JavaDoc comment. Commenting is very important for users, other users to understand what you are trying to do. As we discussed before, modern software are developed by a team of developers. You need to let other developers know what you're trying to do and what your code can do so that they can utilize your code. Nobody lives in a vacuum. You need to let them know how your code is best used. This will be more apparent as we go through the course and start utilizing certain libraries. As you start using other people's library, you will understand how important it is to have a description so that the user will know what it is for. Another important aspect of writing good Java code is programming style. Although Java has a strict syntax, white space characters are ignored by the compiler. The Java white space characters includes tab, space, new line, character return, form feed. Interestingly, you can see new line is also a part of white space. That means Java compiler will actually ignore new line. So technically, there's nothing stopping you from writing all your code in one single line. But the result of writing everything in one single line is this compact.java. So you can see this is the Java compact that I have a hard time to understand, right? Is that some int definition and double definition? And think about this, this is only 2 or 3 lines. Imagine you have 200 lines of code and all put them in the same line. That will be a huge mess to understand. This is not what they are supposed to do. So what you need to do is write it in a more readable way. You need to put everything with proper indentation, and the curly braces and the parentheses should match each other in a proper way so that it's easier to other people to understand and for you yourself to understand. Program should use proper indentation. Each block of code should be indented a few spaces from its surrounding block. 2 to 4 spaces are sufficient. And tab characters should be avoided because tab can vary in size between applications and devices. And the most programming text editor allow the user to replace tab with space. So here we actually have, you can see each block. This is one block, the method. The print is the one block. And you use proper blank line to separate things, separate code into different blocks.